when love me when love me when love me when love me.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, and welcome back to the Adams Eats Kitchen. Don't know if you can see, I've had my barnet cut. I feel so much better, like a new man. Actually, he's done a pretty bad job because, you know, he's not cut some of it in, so there's a nice long bit here, which I'm not happy about, but I'll get the scissors on it later. Anyway, enough of me rambling, let's get on with the recipe. Today, I'm gonna make a nice little simple sausage tray bake. It's a fantastic recipe for those evenings where you just kind of come home from work, you're a bit knackered and you just want to throw something together. It's easy, everyone's going to love it, and it tastes superb. What's also really great about this recipe is it's adaptable, so you can switch out some of the ingredients if you like, you know, change some of the herbs. You know, I'm using sage and bay leaf, but you could use parsley, you could use thyme. You could swap the new potatoes for sweet potatoes. You know, it's your dinner. So that's what we're going to make today, guys. Again, following the usual drill. If you hit that pause button, make a list of what you need, and we'll go make something delicious. Well, hopefully. Right, so before we do any kind of prep, the first job you need to do is to preheat your oven to gas mark 7 so it's nice and hot. And then all we're going to do is just take our sausages out of these cartons. You know, these are just shop bought ones, but they are good quality ones. It stands to reason that the better your sausage, the better this dish is going to turn out. So what I'm going to do is just take them out of the packaging. Try to get a sausage as well that's at least 90% pork because they're just generally better. Got a nicer texture and a nicer flavour as well. So put those into our roasting tray, and that's all we need to do with the sausages. The next thing we're going to do is chop up this veg, and for that I need a sharp knife. And the first thing I think I'll do is chop up this pepper, just take off the end. I think it'd be a good idea actually to get a waste bowl. And like I've shown you before, just cut away each individual lobe, and then you can just get rid of that core and chuck it away. Okay, and then just slice the pepper into nice thin strips. You want them fairly thin because this dish is going to cook fairly quickly, so if they're too thick, they're not going to cook all the way through. So cut the peppers, scatter those in. Next, the potatoes. I need about 400 grams, so I'm just going to weigh these out. That'll do. And then I'm going to cut these into nice bite-sized chunks. You don't want them too thick because, again, you know, this is going to cook quite quickly, so if you leave them too chunky, they're not going to cook all the way through. So about that sort of size. Scatter those in. So I've done the potatoes. The next thing we need is some onion. Right, so I've got my onions. Now these are quite small, so I'm probably going to use 3 of these. And very simply, you just want to take the ends off and then peel them. Take off those roots because you don't want those in your dinner. And then I'll just show you with this one. Keep that root bit on because that's what's going to hold it together in the pan. And I'm just going to cut this into quarters and then just chuck those in your pan as well. And then just do the same thing with the rest of the onion. Next thing I've got is some garlic. I'm using 2 cloves here. I'm not going to peel them, not going to chop them. All I'm going to do is take the back of my knife and just squash them. Just like that. Chuck that in. Okay, we're almost there, folks. And the next thing we need is some herbs. Right, so I've got some sage and I've got some bay leaves. With the bay leaves, I'm just going to gently bruise them. And then with the sage, I'm just going to rip the leaves. You know, I'm not going to bother chopping. And then what we're going to add is some pepper, some salt, and then a generous glug of olive oil. Probably about a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2. And then we're just going to get our hands in there and mix everything together so everything's coated. Probably use a bigger roasting tray than what I have, but I've left my really big one at work for something that we did, but I'm sure this will be fine. Now I've just washed my hands and this is now ready for the oven. Now you want to cook that in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes until the sausages have taken on a nice bit of colour. The vegetables should almost be cooked, but not quite there, at which point we'll add the cider. Right, so it's had about half an hour. Let's get it out of the oven. Ooh, smells delicious. Okay, so what we need to do now is just turn over these sausages, loosen up those onions and potato, okay, just so it's not stuck to the bottom. Just shufty stuff around a bit, really. And the next thing we're going to go in is with some cider. just a little bit, I'd say about 150 ml. And this is going to deglaze the bottom of that pan and just add a nice flavour. Okay, and then this needs to go back in the oven. And all we're looking to do is cook that for about another 20 minutes or so till the sausages are nice and cooked and those potatoes are nice and tender. Right, okay, so it's had its extra 20 minutes, it's finished cooking, so let's get it out of the oven and have a look. And there we are folks, as you can see it's nicely cooked, the sausages are nice and brown and those potatoes are nice and tender and they should have some nice caramelised bits underneath. Now what I'm going to do is just mix everything all up, make sure everything's all fully coated, got all those flavours from the bottom of the pan, and then we'll have a taste. Right, shall we give this a whirl? I think we better add. I'm going to go for a bit of everything. Let's go in. Those sausages are delicious. It really pays to get better ones. Nice and meaty. Potatoes have taken on some of that meaty flavour. Could have probably done with a bit more sage, I think, but it's delicious nevertheless. For something that's taken so little effort, it's given so much back. That is wizard. Well, and there we are, my simple sausage tray bake. Hardly any washing up, tastes really good, cheap as chips. You can't get much better than that. Now you can serve that as it is with some crusty bread, or if you want to, serve with some peas, some steamed greens, broccoli, whatever. Well, that about wraps up today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think of the recipe, and also if you've got any suggestions. Now if you like what you see, stick around at the end because there'll be some links to some other videos, and if you want to subscribe, there'll be a button for that as well. And as always folks, I'll see you next time for more tasty fun and frolics, and bye for now.